The Ash-Bound Bride of Fengxi. Part 1. The Bell and the Lantern. I arrived at Fengxi Village at dusk, when the sky bruises purple and the wind smells of burned straw. The lane bent toward a tiny shrine where a bell rang by itself, its clapper wrapped in blood-brown silk. The sound didn't travel outward, it sank into the earth. An old woman selling chestnuts hissed, "That's the widow's bell. Don't linger by the river when it darkens." She pressed 2 hot nuts into my hand and turned away before I could ask more. Past her brazier stood a massive banyan tree, and from its lowest branch swung a white lantern. Never red, never out. Its silk, eaten by moths, leaked light like breath through teeth. Villagers bowed to it, faces pale in its glow. That night, I stayed at a bent old inn. The keeper, Gu, warned me not to wander after dusk. "The chief and the fortune-teller perform rites tonight," he muttered. "When the bell rings twice, close your window." I didn't. At midnight I saw them, Liang Shuren, the village chief, broad-backed, and Master Zhao Qiren, the fortune-teller, pale as clay. They knelt beneath the banyan, incense choking the air. Zhao burned charms and murmured, "As long as this lantern burns, the dead shall sleep." The flame flickered blue. The bell trembled. And in that strange half-light, I thought I saw a woman's hand, pale and dusted with ash, clawing weakly through the soil at Zhao's feet. Part 2. The Bride Beneath the Ash. By dawn, the village was quiet as a grave. Even the chickens didn't cry. The innkeeper's wife whispered over breakfast, "She came again. The chief will seal her tonight." "Who?" I asked. She looked at me as if I'd opened a tomb. "Lonyue." She told me between fits of silence. 2 years ago, during the first drought, Yuan Jian, a young widower, brought home a new wife from beyond the northern ridge. Lonyue was gentle, quick to laugh. Their house smelled of dyed silk and millet cakes. Then a granary man's son drowned in a ditch. Grief turned to superstition. Master Zhao claimed Lonyue's birth hour was cursed, her spirit, a devouring star. Chief Liang called a meeting. For the good of all, they bound her with red wedding ropes and buried her alive in the old ash pit by the shrine. They said it would stop her spirit from wandering, the innkeeper's wife muttered. The bell rang until sundown. Her husband added quietly, "Yuan Jian tried to dig her out. Broke his leg. The next morning, he vanished." That night the white lantern pulsed like a heartbeat. I couldn't look away. I dreamt of a voice combing my hair with broken teeth, whispering, "If he doesn't come, I'll comb forever." When I woke, a jade comb lay on my pillow, 4 teeth missing. Part 3. The Ash Pit Opens. I went to the shrine at noon. The stones around the old kiln pit were newly sealed, but the mortar was still wet. The comb in my sleeve throbbed with warmth like a pulse. I pried one stone loose, then another. Cold air hissed upward, carrying a smell of wine and soot. I lowered myself in. Ash swallowed my boots. My hand found silk, then hair, then skin that sighed like paper when touched. Lonyue lay there, red cords biting her wrists, mouth stuffed with ash, her face preserved by the dry heat. Her lips were parted as if mid-breath. A sound above, a grunt, the scuff of a crutch. A man dropped into the pit beside me. His hair hung like reeds. His left leg was twisted and bound in blue cloth. "Yuan Jian. You carry her comb," he said. His voice was hoarse but sure. He reached for the cords, and they fell apart like dust. "I came too late once. Not again." He lifted her carefully, cradling her weightless body. We climbed out. The village seemed to hold its breath. Not a door creaked, not a dog barked. At the riverbank, Jian washed her face. The water beaded, then sank into her skin. He combed her hair. The sound was a distant instrument. When he tied the red sash around her ribs, the bell rang twice. Zhao and Liang appeared with men carrying torches. "Put her down," Zhao demanded. "She drinks our fortune." "Her mouth drank only ash," Jian said quietly. "Yours drinks coin and fear." Liang raised his copper seal. for the good of Fengxi. But the white lantern flared green, and the ground trembled. Lanue's chest rose again. Ash trickled from her lips with a drop of blood. Her eyes opened, pupils pale as moonlight. She looked at Liang, then at Jian, then at the lantern. "My wedding has 3, she said. The words were calm and final. The bell screamed. Part 4. The Night of Salt Lamps. That evening every household lit salt lamps. 100 yellow flames flickered like frightened eyes. The villagers gathered around the banyan, whispering prayers. Zhao stood before the dark lantern, weaving 7 colored cords into a spell. Liang hovered near him, trembling. "She must be bound again," Zhao hissed. "Or she'll take the river." But the river was already rising, thick and red as rust. From behind the shrine came Lanue and Jian. She wore a torn red sash, her hair glistening like wet lacquer. In her hands was a rope made not of silk but of hair. Long strands, black and gray, twined together. "The first wedding was for joy," she said. "The second for shame. The third is for truth." She threw the hair rope around the bell. It tightened, hissing like water on hot iron. The bell's note turned sharp, alive. Through the lantern's thin silk I saw images flashing. Liang's face as he ordered her buried, Zhao's hands tying knots, a woman choking on ash. The village groaned as if the earth itself remembered. Zhao stumbled back. "If I unbind what was bound, the river will drown me." "Then drown clean," Gu's wife called from the crowd. Zhao's eyes fluttered shut. He touched the bell and muttered a single syllable. The ropes loosened, the sound died. The lantern stayed dark, terrifyingly dark. Lanue took it in her arms and breathed into the bell instead. The bronze rang once, a note that trembled like a newborn's cry. The lantern's silk caught fire, but glowed willow green, not red. "Tomorrow," Lanue said, voice steady, "we'll open the kiln pits. We'll wrap the bones in willow and cloth. The guilty will speak until their throats are clean." Liang tried to step forward, but coughed black soot. Zhao fell to his knees, trembling. The salt lamps dimmed as wind rolled through the square, carrying a scent of tangerine peel and burned hair. Part 5. The Village That Breathes. Dawn bled through the fog. The villagers gathered to unseal the pits. Lanue led them, Jian limping beside her, holding a basket of willow leaves. We found bones stacked like prayer beads, faces preserved by ash. We laid each body in clean cloth, tucking in slivers of citrus for sweetness on their road. At noon, Chief Liang came without his seal. He fell to his knees beside the largest pit, coughing black phlegm until salt tears replaced it. "No forgiveness," he rasped, "but truth." He named everyone, who'd spread the lies, who'd taken bribes, who'd held the ropes. He spoke her name last, softly, Lanue, until the words sounded whole again. Master Zhao stepped forward. "I was paid to measure fates," he said, "but I never measured mercy." He removed the red cord from his wrist and dropped it into the river. The water hissed but did not take him. He bowed to Lanue. She lifted him up. "Do not again what you are nodded," she said. By sundown, we'd finished the burials. Children slept in their mother's arms while men watched the horizon, afraid to hope. Lanue carried the white lantern to the river and set it adrift. It floated away, glowing faint green, then turned with the current and came drifting back. "Will you go?" I asked. "Not yet," she said, glancing at Jian. "He has a leg that aches. I have a mouth that remembers ash. We'll stay until the pits become beds, not mouths." That night we feasted on sweet millet cakes. The bell was silent, the good kind of silence, the kind that listens. Chief Liang smashed his copper seal and threw the pieces into a bucket of water. Zhao swept the courtyard. And under the banyan, Lanue and Jian sat side by side, talking softly as if time had finally remembered how to move. Before I left, she pressed the hair rope into my palm. "Keep it dry," she said. "If it molds, it turns to a snake." Jian gave me a new comb, carved whole. We laughed, a sound fragile but alive. On the road out of Fengxi, I met the old chestnut seller. She nodded toward the village. The bell is quieter now, she said. Quiet isn't emptiness. It's listening. I have written what I saw. I've left out less than I wanted. When wind brushes my shutters before dawn, I set the comb by my brush rest and the hair rope under my pillow and whisper the line she gave me. My wedding has 3. I've thought about it as a scholar and as a man. A marriage is not only husband and wife, but also the village that decides what to bind or unbind. When the village ties with dirty hands, a wedding becomes a funeral. When it washes clean, the bell becomes a song. If you ever pass Fengxi in late autumn, you'll see the white lantern burning faint green. Lean close, not to hear moaning but breathing, the sound of earth forgiven, learning to breathe again. And if, before dawn, you hear a comb scrape your window, don't speak too fast. Set down a bowl of water, turn an old tablet to face the door, and say softly, "Your wedding has 3. We will be the 3rd that learns." Then wait. The bell will tell you what comes next.